Welcome to From the Coming Kingdom, Messages from the Father's Heart.
Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy, and this is the very first episode of a new podcast series from Greg Johnson and Friends. And as the title suggests, our main focus will be on the coming new kingdom. What does that mean? What does that look like? How do we keep our lamps filled up and glowing so we don't miss out on the return of the bridegroom for his bride? We invite you to come along on this journey with us. Subscribe so you never miss an episode. All right, let's get started. Greg, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing with us messages from the Father's heart. I know he gives you a lot of revelation and a lot of songs, and I do mean a lot of songs. Now, I know you just finished a project and released it a few months ago, so why don't you tell everybody about it?
Well, we've got one current record that's out there that we want to talk about first. We've put out 10 songs, and they're from a record that we made called Out from the Land of What Ought Not to Be.
That's an interesting title.
And into, I'm not done yet.
Oh, you're not done.
And into the land of what was meant to be.
Oh, wow.
So what I think the Father is speaking in these messages in this album is he's calling out for the people in this earth to wake up and to come up out of the places where they dwell and come up into a new place which will bring them into the land of what was meant to be and out of the land that ought not to be, which is where mostly all of us dwell.
Sounds like a call to come up out of Babylon.
Correct, and I'm calling these, when I put out a blog or send one of the songs out, we sort of headlined it under the title of Music from the Coming Kingdom.
Ooh, cool.
That's really what it is, and let me tell you how they happen. These are not brainchilds of mine that I just think up. A little background on me. I don't write any songs. I had no plans to write or produce or make any records. I just began waking up in the night hearing these songs in my spirit some years back. So after they kept coming, I decided that I needed to be writing them down and recording them. So all I do is wake up with a song, get out of bed and go write it down and do my feeble best to try and recreate what I'm hearing in my spirit. And it is truly a communication from another dimension.
I'm not sure that's fair.
Really?
Because I've been writing songs for years, Greg, and it's never been that easy.
Well,
I just finished a song that I'm working on. I've been writing for 3 years. You wake up and go write them down.
Well, like I say, I never intended to write a song. I had not played professionally for over 35 years. I'm basically looking at retiring and spending time with grandkids. But all of a sudden, somehow or another, I have become tuned to the eternal FM station.
That's awesome. So there's no such thing as retirement, really.
I don't know that there is if you are living the laid down life, if you are giving what you are to the Father to be of service in whatever way you can. He will pick and choose, and hopefully we'll be able to hear what he wants us to be doing.
So music from the coming kingdom.
Yeah, and as they kept on coming, I decided I needed to find a way to record these to share with others, because they're not just for me or my friends. And that's what led me to you, and that's how you've become a very important part in helping to share these with the world.
Well, I'm having a great time doing it too. It's definitely a blessing.
Well, my goal is I have no interest in being an artist or a performer. I just want to share these songs with anyone who will listen and has ears to hear. So that's what we're all about. Our Father has much to say in these days. He's trying to prepare us for the coming of a new day. So, Who are Greg Johnson and friends? Well, I won't get into a testimony at this point, but I'm an old rocker from the 60s that had a supernatural encounter with God on a mountaintop in California in 1969. We'll save the story of my testimony for a later time. Well, I'm connected to a group of people, brothers and sisters that I've walked with for many years. Actually, several of us came to the Lord together back in 1970, and we're still connected today. So these songs are really sort of a corporate expression of what we have learned over the years. So they, my friends, my brothers and sisters, all the players, engineers, singers, they're all part of the friends that helped me get this record put together.
And we did have some really talented musicians play on this record.
Absolutely. The Father blessed me richly. I had no way to know, as has happened to me in several occurrences, how much He wanted to bless me with someone who could hear and understand what I was trying to say, or what He was trying to say, and interpret it and put it down so powerfully. If you haven't heard the songs, you need to plug in both the YouTube and the Facebook page, Greg Johnson and Friends.
And
crank it up.
Can they get
heart.
this album on iTunes or anywhere else? Where could they find it?
Sure. Yeah, the record is available on CD Baby and at iTunes to download or to order the physical CD from CD Baby.
You know, Greg, it's kind of a popular thing to do these days where you just go to iTunes or some other digital store and you listen to a few songs and you cherry pick the ones you like the best and you just download those few. Well, with this record, I would advise downloading the whole thing because honestly, every song is like a scene from a movie and every song needs to be there to tell this whole epic tale.
Well, good point, Jim. The record, Out of the Land of What Ought Not to Be and Into the Land of What Was Meant to Be, really has a thread that runs throughout that takes you from A to B. And it's a call, like I say, from the Father's heart for us to come up out of the drudgery and the quicksand and the mud and the mire of living in this world and being dragged down by it. Starts out with a song that really is a kind of a microcosm of the whole thing. The cover of the record, you'll see, shows an eagle flying up out of a canyon, a deep canyon, and is a pretty good picture of what I believe the Father is calling us to do, and that's to come up out of this earth and into this realm of the land of what was meant to be, which sort of calls back or looks back toward what the land was in the Garden of Eden, a place where we can dwell together with Him in the New Jerusalem, where He comes to tabernacle with man.
Well, thanks so much, Greg, for the introduction to this project, and I'm really looking forward to the next set of podcasts we do where we break down every song one by one and get to the meat of what's in each one of them, and really looking forward to that.
Thank you, Jimmy.